trade, he shaves his beard. And then when I see him fully bearded out, I'm like, oh, he's trading back. Right now, he's not bearded out. I think he's having good trades right now.
Time Will does good in the trade.
He's
He
not
shaves
laughing
his
or
beard. I
looking
don't
at
know
me.
if it's
So I
a
don't know if
thing
he
he
can
has
hear
with
me.
himself. And then when I see
My
him,
joke is just not that funny. Maybe that's also what it is. Oh, there's a smirk. There's a smirk. There's a smirk. Yo, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
There's a smirk.
You're not tuned in to Web3 Exposed. Thank you very much. Yo, we pull up and go live every single day right here at 7 o'clock on X and Twitch. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, repost the space. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yo, we pull up and
really
go live every single day right here at 7 o'clock on X and Twitch. If you haven't already, go ahead and like, comment, and repost the space. Thank you very much. Helps out the algorithm.
Let me see
something. Really want to jump into all the...
Am I good? Can you guys hear me? Throw me an emoji real fast before I continue.
Do that much cool shit. But hold on.
Am
let
I
me
cutting
see
out on
something.
Spaces, Will, or on the stream?
Let me see something. Hold on.
Can you guys hear me? Mic check.
Good. Let me know, please.
All right.
Am I cutting out on Spaces, Will, or on the stream?
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, let's jump into it. Anyway, that definitely a big fucking week. If you're gonna be in Miami, if you're here for our
Can you guys hear me? Mic check.
To Miami. Welcome to all the traffic.
All right, we're good.
You're bugging. Anyway, but definitely pull up to Beat Basel Thursday and Friday at Fun Dimension. It's going to be super fun. Make sure you RSVP at beatbasel.com. There's still a few tickets left for VIP. There's also these special Beat pretty much tickets that I threw in free drinks, and it's literally $10 fucking dollars. Where the hell are you going to get one drink in Miami for $10? I don't know, but I'm giving you two. There you go. Take advantage of that. Really fucking stoked. Got a lot of special guests, got a lot of cool shit happening. Shout out to the league. Shout out to all the cool people that is going to be a part of it. I'm really, really stoked. If you guys don't know, the league is a huge entity out in LA. They're known for hosting different sports games like soccer, basketball. You had Justin Bieber playing in a recent game of theirs. I think Neon is going to be playing in the game. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But dude, they're plugged, they're connected, they got motion, and I'm more than excited to put out this activation. I also can't believe I'm fucking spending what I'm spending to build out.
Sure, don't quote me. But dude, they're plugged, they're connected, they got motion, and I'm more than excited to put out
I don't know if you're
activation.
able to speak on Spaces, so just maybe do a mic check in a second because it looks like you're not on stage. But yeah, as I continue on, I do appreciate all the likes, the comments, and the repost. At 100 comments, we're giving away $100. That's right. At 100 comments, the same person can comment 50 times. 100 comments, I'm picking a lucky person. Actually, I'm picking two lucky people to get $50 each. That's amazing. In this economy, get the fuck out of here, dude. Are you serious? So thank you very much. Will, mic check real quick on Spaces. You want to just see if you're good? If not, I'm gonna have to bring you back. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, he can't hear me. All right, I'm going to remove you, bring you back. Story of my fucking life. Yeah, anyway, it's looking like an RWA fucking season. That's all I got to say. Everybody can't keep their fucking mouth and energy off of Pokemon. I'm talking about the people that was fading, talking all the shit. Now that's all the fuck y'all could talk about. Very fucking funny. So Will is the only person in life that has problems with X. I swear to God, dude. Literally the only person. There's also some tricks that I'll say that you probably didn't learn yet, Will, and I'll tell you the tricks right now. The tricks are basically you cannot jump in and out of Wi-Fi. So that's for one. You got to jump into Spaces on one Wi-Fi, take your VPN off. Second trick is not being in another app while I'm expecting you on stage. So if I have you on stage coming up and you requested, you should be on X. You shouldn't be in a different app. There's like a lot of dumb little shit. I don't know. Maybe you follow all the rules, Will. I don't fucking know. But I'll say that. So definitely Bring your ass back so I can now present you on the stage, please. Thank you. But yo, this is the best time to request to get on stage. So please go ahead and do so if you haven't. This is actually the best time to get cursed out as well. So if you have something slick to say, if you want to troll me, pull up. Just be ready for this fucking wrath because my head is spinning and I'm running in 1,000,000 miles an hour at the moment. And nothing better than dealing with just absolute shitheads when it comes to business, right? It is what it is, right? This is the life I chose. This is the life I chose. Y'all gonna get it from me, bro. I'm in fucking event mode. I'm in fucking event mode right now, dog. Anyway, welcome to the show. Very excited to get Will here. I know he's a busy guy. Let's jump right into it, Will. Give me all the market sentiment. Talk to me about Solana dropping a 123 and now shooting back up to 140 today. Let's jump into it, Will. Welcome to the show, brother. Thank you. Take it away, sir.
Oh, man. How many things I could say about this app? It's not even funny. I absolutely fucking hate this app. This is literally the worst app. Like, if you've ever co-hosted,
I'm working on us going viral, so we don't even have to do spaces. They just come to Twitch and they just watch us, dog. I'm working on it. Okay? I'm working on it.
The fact that I have to spend 10 minutes every time at the start to come in and out and in and out and in and out because it says you're muted by host, even though I'm co-host, is absolute dog shit. It's horrible. Just had to say that. It's really frustrating. Got to deal with this. But, yeah, so, and again, not anybody else's fault here. Just shit out. All right, so we'll get kind of into the market a little bit. So obviously we had a nice little bounce today. A lot of people talking 50K, 60K. I absolutely hope that you shorted below 85 and got completely liquidated. If that's the case, I hope it took out your entire portfolio and you learned a lesson. Don't short demand zones. And it sounds asinine, but it's like the amount of people that have been sitting out here dooming, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Every account on this app was basically calling like 30K, 35K, 60K, and there's some people are still believing that that's the case, right? They're still saying that that's what's going to happen. The reality is like markets don't go down in a straight line, and you're absolutely being fooled if you think it does. And a lot of people in this app basically take advantage of other people. They really do. Like it's like, okay, we're going down. Let's keep talking doomer. People will pay attention. They'll keep clicking on my posts, looking for updates of how deep we're going. And then some, ridiculous rally starts coming out of nowhere and starts obliterating short side positions because guess what? Everybody shorted demand because they were told at 80K, they're going 35. So they're like, okay, I didn't short from 125 to 80, so I can take this from 80 to 35. No, you can't. You can't. This is a demand range. You're going to get blown out. And if you're in a short, you're going to likely get liquidated before this is over. If you're upside down on that short, I really doubt we're going to go back down and revisit that wick low, at least right now, right? And likely this market's going to push up to 100K. And I've been talking about this for, I don't know, a couple weeks now. I keep getting pushed back by different random people on X, but it's whatever, just people on the internet. And if we get up to 100K, I can almost bet anybody who leverage traded in the 85 is getting liquidated. I can almost bet that's exactly what's going to happen. So if you're in a short side position, take that with a grain of salt, or keep thinking that price is going to come back down and you're going to get out of this situation that you shorted demand. So basically, we ranged into a demand range low, right? Which is previous consolidation high, which is where we bounced off of the low here, which was basically, the 74K. That was the range of the demand. Now you're probably like, well, we didn't hit 74K. So why are you saying 74K? Because above the 74K range, which we used the previous high again at 74K as support, we basically had a consolidation range, which ranged all the way up from 89 to the 74K range, right? Retest of the previous high. And that's a bullish structure, basically. If you can retest the previous liquidity range, you can bounce off it and you can run. It's the same thing over here. So if we come over here, for those who are wondering what I'm talking about, I am streaming, so you can just go over and look at the video. But you can see right here, basically, this was the range high right here. This is the range low. We basically retested demand, right? Again, same thing over here, range high, range low, we retested demand. And now what a lot of bears were pitching to people on, and now granted, I'm not saying structure hasn't broken here, but what I am saying is that you should always expect a bounce, right? You shouldn't be just keep telling people over and over and over, you're going to keep just rolling, right? And you're just going to dump and dump and dump and dump, and you can just short this market all the way down. It doesn't work like that. Market sets up traps at different levels. And
hold on, Will, hold on. By the way, Spaces has been fucking up all day. I was in Spaces, my bad, Will. I was in Spaces and shit was also laggy. If you don't want to miss anything Will's saying, go to the stream right now. Go to the stream right now, and you'll get visuals. So go to the stream as well if you don't want to miss anything. I know it's annoying. I was listening earlier and I was like thinking I was getting removed from Spaces and shit. It's not us, it's Spaces. So if you do want to like not miss anything, please go to the stream real quick. We'll continue.
So basically, we broke structure up here because we didn't use previous high as support, right? We broke into that range. Now, what a lot of people aren't really understanding is the structure is still intact. It's still not broken per se. It's broke, but it's not broken. What does that mean? That means that this market could likely see a high sweep, which means we could push much higher, but it'll likely turn into a sweep versus like, just a continuation pattern. So what does a sweep look like? That could push us to 145, it could push us to 155, 165, whatever, right? But what that will do is we'll sit up there for a little bit, consolidate, and then we'll distribute at a certain point. That's what a sweep does. But what that will also do is absolutely blow out every short in the market, because there's a lot of people who have been shorting all the way down. And I don't mean from the high, I mean from the breakdown, right? And so the market's going to rebalance those breakdown shorts, and they're going to come back and wipe them out. That's what a lot of people aren't really understanding, because breakdown shorts basically got greedy. They didn't want to take profit. They kept holding the short, thinking they're going to get to, 30K. And this is always the problem with a lot of people is they're not looking at structure. They're just thinking, oh, I shorted close enough to the top that I'm safe. And you're never safe in a market leverage trading. You're never safe in a position leverage trading. So you should always take it from level to level, and you should leverage trade in from one level and leverage trade out to the next. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now with Solana, is I'm leverage trading the low and I'm leverage trading into the next resistance, and I'm cutting the position. I'm not looking to get all the way to the top. And again, just fell back into range low. Now we fell down below this consolidation range. We broke that consolidation range, right? Now, what did we do here that kind of obstructed the structure and made me think that we were going to push back up again? Well, if you look here, we kind of played in a weird spot. So body candles are more important than wicks. Wicks, at the end of the day, as a trader, everybody's going to sit. Some people are going to think wicks have more power than they do. So people are going to understand that candles have more power than wicks by a long shot. So for those who don't know, candles are the agreed upon price. That's where bears and bulls agree upon price ranges. And wicks are typically price ranges that get pushed into certain places that basically show how deep liquidity is, right? On both ends, high and low. So think of like wicks as like a way to kind of look at where liquidity lies at the low and where liquidity lies at the high. But the body is the agreed upon price. That's where market makers say, okay, this is where people like to buy, and this is typically where they'll stop. And this is where people like to sell, and this is typically where they'll stop. There's a bid below the body candle there. There's a sell above the body candles up here, essentially. So we fell kind of in between two ranges. So we fell in between previous consolidation range and previous consolidation range, and we found a bid, right? How do we know we found a bid? Because price was able to push this candle all the way back up to the high of these body candles right here, right? And we got the close above that range. And then we got another body candle open, and that open pushed us back up to the low of this body candle range. And now we're kind of pushing, and then we fell back into this range, right? But we continue to float above this body candle range still, and we're pushing into the low of this body candle range. Does that mean that we go up tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks from now? Who knows when we go up? But the point being is that we're catching a bid here. So if we're catching a bid here, there's likely price interest. So if there's price interest, what do you typically see is you'll see market makers want to mark up until they start to see no more bid left, right? And then market makers will mark down. So the hard part is can you get the market enticed to flip that 100K range? That's the point that we have to kind of look at. So for me, it's kind of like, okay, when we get to 100K, now you're probably like, well, Will, that green line right there is above 100K. Yeah, it is. Why do I say 100K? Because 100K is right here, right? You're going to start catching resistance right here. You're going to start catching resistance right up here. So you got to start, if you're in a leverage position, you got to start leveraging out of that position at the next resistance. So 100K for me is the next resistance, even though we're looking at this as the real flip range. Now, if you can get above 108, and close up here, you basically flip the range. Now you can get that high sweep that can push you to a higher high, and markets can go a lot higher, right? And you'll probably get some kind of like altcoin blow off, a bunch of other stuff kind of happening. And I'll show you with ETHBTC because that's getting pretty interesting in itself overall. But basically, you fell into this range. We're finding price action between these two consolidation ranges, and what we'll likely see is a markup. And that markup should push us up to this previous consolidation range high. Again, pushing it to 100K, taking the leverage trade up, and then, from there, cutting the leverage trade, and we'll see kind of where markets go, if they want to flip the range or not. And if they flip the range, they'll go bullish. The problem is that they don't flip the range. What you'll likely get is a lower high structure, maybe some kind of shutdown around 100K. Body candles will shut down below these body candles, and that'll basically create a lower high structure on the right side. But what we like to call that is a head and shoulders, right? So there's a couple of different things that can play out here. You can get a head and shoulders on this side, or you're going to get a high sweep, right? This is just my perspective right now and what I think we'll see. That's your head and shoulder setup right there. If they get in, and likely this shoulder will probably come a little bit short, right? So this will be your shoulder on your left. This is your head. And likely you'll get some kind of right shoulder at a lower sweep around 100K if that's where they want to go. Now, what happens if they sweep 100K and they roll? They sweep 100K and they roll. You'll see price action start to reprice down. You'll push back down to these lows. That'll be bearish. You start getting bearish, then the market will typically bounce around that range, and then you'll see some kind of repricing like that, right? And then you'll push back into previous highs. That's basically what will happen here. And now people talk at 35K, you're high. You're absolutely fucking high. Like that's like the 10K bears over here, right? That we're talking about. We were going to 10K because we're going to reprice here. So they were saying, oh yeah, 10K here. We're going to sweep this. And this is where the market's going. Market never even came close, right? I think we bottomed out around like 15.8, 15.9, something like that. Likely what you'll see here at best is you'll see a reprice in the like 50 at best. If you start going bearish. Now, again, I'm giving you kind of the if this, then that. Right now, people should be market neutral, but you should be playing the bull side. Bull side is in play right now. So take the bull side and then run with it and just know where to cut your bull side play, right? So this is your stop out. That's your rundown if they're going to run it down. And then if they're going to flip it back up, then at that point, you're going to see a sweep, which is going to push markets up to the high. You'll get a higher high, and then you'll reprice back down again anyways, right? But the other thing, too, that I'm kind of seeing here, which is pretty interesting, is RSI. If you look at the weekly daily, right? Weekly is nearly floored. Daily has been floored. We're just kind of seeing a bounce back out of it, which is my only concern is we're under the 50, right? If we stay under the 50 on the daily, we could reject out the 50 and roll back down, which means more consolidation before a breakout. And on the monthly time frame, we're playing just above the 50, right? But we could still come down. But we are kind of in a downtrend here, right? On strength. We've been in a downtrend while continuing to ignore it because each pump up has been a higher move, right? Even though we're losing more and more and more momentum as we've been doing it. And we continue to keep on pushing back up and this right here could be one more sweep with a lower high on RSI, but a higher high on structure if they want to do it. But overall, this is kind of how I think people should look at Bitcoin. You should be very neutral with the market right now and just understand, like, what I would tell people, if you want my honest opinion, is I wouldn't be buying anything above 100K, right? What I would be doing is I'd bid under the 100K range, and then once you start getting into the 100K range, start scaling out. That's what I would be doing. I think that's the best way to kind of approach this, at least for right now, and then kind of see where things go, right? They could go higher, they could go lower, but you should be ideally scaling out. Now, what I mean by scaling out doesn't mean sell your entire bag. It means, like, as prices get marked up, like here's an instance of what I've done with some coins. I'll give you an instance, kind of an idea. So I put like 20K into a coin, right? That coin gets to 25K, I take 5K off. That coin gets to 25K again, I take 5K off. That coin gets to 25K again, I take 5K off. That coin gets to 25K again, I take 5K off. So I'm scaling out the profits, right? Every time my bag goes up to a certain point, I scale off a certain percentage of that point. And then I just leave that initial in there the whole time and keep scaling out money. And then even if that 20K were to come back down to like 2K or 3K, by the time I've done that so many times, I'm up like 50K, right, on the play. So it didn't even matter at the end of the day that came down, because I kept on scaling off of that position while continuing to hold the same position I had initially. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody, but it's kind of a thought process behind a kind of a strategy that I use. So that's kind of a way to approach this, at least right now. Now, ETH BTC, this is kind of an interesting spot because right here, it's the same lows, right? Same lows we had previously. This kind of ran our altcoin season. Right here, it was a little more sketchy over here in 2020 going into 2021. But really, we're kind of in that position, right before we went into 2021. And this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 month play, right? If they really want to, we've already drawn down quite a bit. We could draw down a little bit more, and they could run this up in 3 months, right? We could be running this out to like March, for instance, if they want to run this market up. I think it's going to be hot and fast, personally. I don't think we're going to have like a 6 month, 7 month run. I think this last part's going to be really quick. And so you just got to kind of pick your winners from there and don't chase shit once it starts popping off. Just be safe about stuff right now. Like, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there. You just got to be kind of in the opportunity. And one of the things too with, Solana, just like I talked about, like I've talked to you guys about this for like a couple months now with Solana, right? Or more than a couple months. I would say like 6 months to a year we've been talking about Solana. And I've told you guys, every single time you come to this low, just bid the low or leverage trade it. Every time you come to the high, sell the high or leverage trade it, short it down. And it's been a killer trade. This is one of the plays I took the low side trade on for a long side play, and hey, it's working out great. I'm up like 140% on this play. And then Rivian's looking really good too. We got the close above the resistance range, which is right here, right? So the previous resistance was right around 1650. We got the close above that. Body candle closed out at 1688. And then we got the open right on that line, right? So 1650. And then we're kind of hovering at the 1723 right now. So Rivian's looking really good. This thing looks like it wants to rip hard. Definitely something to keep your eye on. RSI looks really solid too. Coming out of that very bearish oversold momentum into decent momentum now. And now we're kind of looking like, we start hitting above the 50 here. This thing's going to start ripping hard.
I mean, I'm seeing Rivians everywhere, bro. Like everywhere.
Well, there's a lot of people who don't like Tesla now, right? No pun intended. And they're trying to find alternatives. And Rivian's a really good alternative, I would say, to Tesla if they don't like Tesla, right? Again, I don't really play into the whole politics shit, but I know some people do, and they will literally go out of their way not to buy Tesla. And so, but they still want to keep their, their Green New Deal stuff. And so they'll buy things like Rivian and so on and so forth. So I think this company is a really good competitor too. If you look at the tech, look at what they got on. They're not as tech heavy as Tesla, but they're definitely a competitive when it comes to the EV markets. Yeah, I'd say overall though, again, just looking at APTC, looks solid. Looks like we can get a little alt run here. And then looking at Bitcoin looks good. Solana bottomed right where it should have bottomed. ETH is kind of in a weird spot. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit, but like it definitely retested bull trend, right? Retested bull trend perfectly, 2,600. And then now we're kind of pushing off of that. If we catch resistance, I'd say about 3,600. That's what I would look for, resistance. If they want to, they can flip it. If they flip 3,600, it can keep going higher. But 3,600 is the next resistance where I'd be looking. If they run straight through that, expect higher. Definitely expect higher. And then I see a bunch of people crying about Zcash too.
Dude, 100K is a new fucking 3,500, bro. That's just it. So I was looking at numbers as I made that tweet to Profits, and I was looking at some historical facts on users and wallets. And so in 2018 during the winter, right? After the big run up and run down back to the 3 and 4 range, 3,000, 4,000 range, there was about 30 million wallets, right? About four. The funny thing is about the same daily active users. So that basically the day traders have stayed about the same. Maybe they're trading more liquid, but they're about the same amount of users. And then today we have about 480 million to 500 million users. So the question I ask myself is can Bitcoin grow to 2 billion users in the next 3 to 4 years? And I think that's almost for certain. And so when it grows to that point, there's I think a really good growth trajectory there. I mean, if you look at that, that's pretty much what's going to drive the next leg up and then sustain us at this point. I think there's enough users in the pot that understand that this isn't a short man's game or a short-term game, that not in our circles or in crypto Twitter, but the random, 350 million people that got Bitcoin, they didn't buy it to sell it tomorrow, right? So we can say as those people are added to this basket, I think this $100,000 range that they came in at, right? A lot of these new players came in on this run up, and and I think this price range is gonna stick for a while. Whether it runs up past it, and it comes back down, it'll still land right within this range. I think when I'm looking at the chart, looking at the historical data, it looks like that's a safe bet for me to make. I can only speak for myself, but that's how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I look, at the end of the day, 80K, 60K, what's a few K amongst friends? Now, if you're talking 125K and you bought there,
but you remember how long it sat in that 3,500 range for, right? It felt like we were locked there forever. But if you had been in the $350 range, that range felt great for one, right? It was a good place to be. I felt decently cozy at the time, and looking back in retrospect, it's feeling the same now. Not that we're gonna be in this long winter, but I think we're about to have a big run up based on just general momentum of the economy and AI and a bunch of other infrastructure and money just pouring into tech, right? And so I think that's going to generally be good for Bitcoin.
There's a couple other things too that people aren't looking at. The Trump kid funds, I forget what they're called, Trump accounts or whatever.
Yeah, the $250 funds that Dell's rolling out. Dell's copying them too. Michael Dell, he's doing a $6 billion fund for $250 accounts as well. It's a whole private thing.
The thing is, that's going to pump the shit out of the stock market. That's what people don't understand. It's literally crime season. Because when they dump all that money in, those kids can't pull that money out for years. So what it's going to be invested. They can dump all that money in, pump the stock market egregiously, and then dump all their money that they have in the SPX and everything else. This is literally a price manipulation play, 100%. And
go watch Michael Dell and his wife give their speech. It's so weird. She looks like a robot, I swear, bro. Well, but it's just funny. You can see them smiling, but you're thinking
they know
where's all this money gonna go? Where's all this money gonna go for 20 years, huh? You're just gonna just gonna pile money in here and my mom and my grandma and everybody else should put money in there too. That's what they said. Anybody can put money in these accounts.
If anybody thinks that the S&P is coming down anytime soon, I could tell you.
No, they're tripping.
You're wrong.
Yeah, they're tripping. Go look at the historical data. It's pretty much not looking like we're going to have anything longer than a season out.
This government is literally committing every. Look, I'm not saying like literal crime, but when it comes to finances, right? It's
$75 billion.
It's every bit of crime when it comes to finances, and they know exactly what the hell they're doing. They're pumping the shit out of this market. They're going to front run it first, and then they're going to pump it. They know exactly what they're doing, and I think that's what any smart, financially literate person understands that. I'm just saying the quiet part out loud that most people won't. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Like they're going to do everything they can to prevent a recession, even though, you can still tell prices are high, even though rents are still high and so on and so forth. Like don't think the pain has stopped yet. Like people think, oh, if we just get this recession, things will reset. Guess what? They're not going to let it reset. They're just going to keep on increasing the pain.
They need the kids to have hope. Look, if the kids lose hope and the parents lose hope, then everybody's fucked. And Mark's gonna kind of like feel that shit. And I think that's what happened in this last like little downturn is like people were just genuinely depressed, right? Like, and they had every right to be. Their kids are going to school, learning about the end of the world and shit. Like it's a little weird. So I think as wokeism is breaking, like people's general hope might just tend to come back, and that's I think generally a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, at the end of the day, like, I don't know what it is with a lot of this stuff. The thing is that we know what's going to happen here. We know the liquidity injection is going to happen, and then you've also got the Fed chair, right? And somebody else is like, oh, the Fed, doesn't get changed out until next year, and I was like, yeah, if he doesn't resign first. A lot of people don't, really don't understand the game, and the game is like. All he's got to do is pressure Powell to resign.
Y'all treat Jerome Powell like he's Gary Gensler though, and that's fucked up. I don't appreciate that.
I mean, Powell has his flaws. Like he had no.
But he's done a pretty good job during all this bullshit.
Listen, there was no reason to keep rates that high. Like inflation was gone. By their metrics. It's
not only his choice though. That's the thing. It's like there's a lot of factors that go into decide these things. He's just the person that rings the bell and says it.
He actually has more to play in that than any other Fed chair for sure. Like he get pressure. It's kind of like the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. They both have their heads and they follow their heads. And the other chairs would follow Powell if he said let's cut. I don't understand why they didn't do it sooner. To be honest with you, I mean I understand, but like it only hurts the people when you keep rates that high. Like. This deflation shit hurts poor people. It doesn't hurt.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we don't want deflation at this point. We're too far gone. It's like trying to go back to frugality once you're a billionaire and you live in a big ass mansion with maids. It's like good luck, buddy.
Go ahead, Crypto. Black Ops.
What's up, Will? How you doing? It's Davey Gonzalez, your buddy. What's going on, man?
Your buddy.
I couldn't. Honest to God, like today is such a blessing. Every day that God gives us above 6 feet is nothing but a blessing. What's up, Brad? Like today's a beautiful day to be alive. Like we're gonna actually head over to a bar. We're doing something weird. Anyways, we're gonna go over to this bar and see if we're gonna buy it. It's in Cocoa Beach. It seems pretty cool. Yeah, for real. We're just gonna go ahead and do everything that nobody actually ever did. We're just gonna do it before. Yep, that's happening. I don't know. What's up, Saul? Will? Much respect. Profits. How you doing? Do it big. It's hard to read the rest of y'all's names, but I don't want to butcher that.
I was just arguing. Yeah, that's the ghost, bro. Of him.
Pardon?
That's doing medium Chicago right now.
I'm not going to
stop. He only knows one way of doing it, and that's big. You know it. Come on.
But I was sitting today arguing with a lawyer about stain colors. Right. That was fun. I just want to put that out there in the air. If stoicism wins like every time. I just stayed stoic, and we just made her smile by the end.
You got to be careful who you give your minutes to, Saul. All right.
Hey, bro, look, we're doing $1.3 million of finished carpentry in this fucking mansion in Santa Barbara. And it's a pretty cool job. It's a pretty cool job. We're just in and out. We're in and out of there as we please. She's cool, but she's picky as fuck, right? And like you're arguing with a lawyer, so it's hard to win. Like she's pretty good. She's a good attorney too. She's not stupid. We're putting an elevator. We're putting an automated elevator in this bitch's house like next month, and this thing will pull her legal files up and down into the attic and like put them on a conveyor belt, and then like shuffle them off to the side. So it's like
she's a G.
She's pretty G. She's pretty.
What's that really good like food court place in Santa Barbara?
I don't know the name, but I know right what you're talking about. Down by the bus station off of, and it's a Chapala and Figueroa.
Yeah, I don't know what the streets are, but there's like a good like food hall place over there.
I was just putting the streets out there if anybody's there. You know, it is the bomb. They got like fire sushi bowls and a bunch of other shit in there.
Yo, Prophets, are you seeing all these like cloud seeding shits? Like this shit is crazy in Florida. They be about this weather manipulation shit out here. Like streaks, like 40 of them in a line.
I lived in LA for mad long, and in my opinion, nothing is as manipulative as LA weather. I can't. Maybe because I'm a Floridian, I can't tell. It does. The rain on and off is annoying as fuck. So that's very. You remember that movie from Disney Channel when they would like play with the little house thing and then turn on the snow, and that's how I imagine.
I mean, we got a harp in California up north, so like they be fucking with the weather for sure. Like,
yeah. Florida's a trip. Florida's an amazing state. I love it. It's great. What brought you all the way out here, Prophets?
This is not an interview.
Oh, my bad.
No, I'm fucking with you.
So Prophets, when you grew up in Miami, like what was your favorite things to do? Like where would you go? Would you go to the park, the library?
Oh fuck, dude.
Here we go. Don't answer that, Prophets.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Oh, that's weird as fuck. That's weird as fuck, Prophets. I know you for a long time. I don't know much about you. You don't be asking each other questions like this in public.
Fuckers.
You know what I'm saying? Reveal yourself.
David, you asked me what brought me to LA?
Miami.
Oh, what brought me back? I mean, the pandemic was mad weird. Wasn't reselling sneakers the same way anymore. StockX ruined everything. There was no real reason to continue to spend.
LA is expensive as fuck.
No, that was ironic because my apartment here is more expensive than my one in LA. However, just like I was always home. I didn't go outside like that. I didn't really have a crazy group of friends. I was literally always home.
Oh, you weren't going to Runyon every week?
I would go to Runyon sometimes when people were in town because they wanted to go there.
Didn't know. I thought
I passed you at Runyon.
And then I was always on Melrose selling clothes or sneakers. So like my life was that, and then maybe go out from time to time. So and then pandemic just got really weird, and I was like, maybe it's time to go.
Hey girl, I'm gonna hit you like right after lunch. We gonna go Runyon, okay? We're gonna get some Starbucks and go up there.
I was raised in like north of Florida though, or north of Miami though. So I wasn't really raised in Miami. So living in Miami now as an adult, with a little bit of money, it's great because I can actually feel like, I feel a little successful. I can enjoy some of these fucking views.
You are successful, Prophets.
Amen. Amen. But yeah, that's why I live in Miami. It's too slow up there. I'm accustomed to the fast life.
Miami is like the new.
I need to see a high rise. I need to see a Ferrari. I need to see these things. Yeah.
Miami's kind of the new LA. I'm not gonna lie.
No, Miami is the new LA, New York, and like.
Miamians are not liking it right now. Everyone's saying it sucks.
Miami is not New York, bro. Miami is
it's becoming dope.
Brother, what's the mayor of New York City?
I don't care nothing about that. That state is so cold. It's so expensive. Hey, look, I know some people are from New York. Don't get offended, but I would never live there. Absolutely not.
I mean, I respect the city.
The air comes off that water and literally just like third degree.
We got plans to come out to Chicago and do some magnet fishing. Yeah.
But look at this right here, Prophets. See this right here?
Yeah, I see that, bud. What is that? High or low?
Look at this. Look at this body candle on this monthly. It's literally the same monthly we just experienced. Now, what do you think everybody's going to do if this starts happening?
They're going to buy?
See, anybody that doesn't know how to trade needs to be focus on glitch money. I'm from Humboldt County, so I see a lot of glitches.
Brad, let's welcome you to the stage. How you doing?
Yeah, GM gang, not too bad. Just trying to tie up all the loose ends and shit for the week. Get ready to fly out Basel. Tomorrow? No, day after tomorrow. So yeah, stoked to kick it with it all again. And this year's gonna definitely be dope. And I'll be the first one to say, like, yo, New York sucks, bro. Like, straight up. Like, I born and raised, right? I moved out here 14 years ago and never looked back. Fuck New York, bro. I'm over the city. LA was boring. LA's boring, bro. Yeah, Miami's dope, and Colorado's the best. That's all I gotta say.
California's got good weather, man, but it's another one of those states where it's like, all right, you got to weigh the weather against costs. It's like,
bro, it's so slow, man. Like everyone, I mean, it's like dope to chill, but like, good God, like, come on, let's get some shit done.
Will, how dead is it in Vegas right now? I got like 2 texts today saying like it's crazy fucking dead. And you got Amazon conference plus MJ BizCon plus the rodeo plus whatever.
I don't know, man. Like on the data center side, it's been crazy. There's been a lot of like data centers getting built all over the place. Like it.
I just meant how the fucking today, like this
Arizona is the place.
You can just say I haven't been to the Strip this week. That's good enough.
Yeah, I haven't been to the Strip this week. Actually, no, I did go to Outback. I spent like $300.
Hey, Will. Let's look. Will, we should package. We should package an offer. Hey, hold on, Doug. We should package an offer, Will.
Spend $300 at Outback.
Damn,
that's what I was thinking, bro. $300 at Outback. That's
all of the lobster. Fucking blooming onion and a half right there.
So
we should try to talk a casino into changing it into a data center, bro. There's got to be a busted old casino like Sun City off the Strip that ain't making no money. They got all the electrical that you need, and then you just bring in a big boy. Bring in the VCs.
Some funnel sponsor, probably, bro.
The data centers are looking for places with no state tax. I'm telling you straight up. And Vegas is just one of those spots. They're looking.
I got a name. I got it. My homies at the Chumash Casino, dog. Let's go. Let's holler.
Hey, we can always get a net jets from New York City and head over to the Red Rock Casino. Just
I'm to buy Jerry's Nugget and turn it into
flip all those 5s and 10s and 20s.
That's what I'm saying, Chicago.
100s.
Jerry's Nugget would be perfect. You got Palominos and Chicas across the street.
Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I can tell you guys too, like the way to spend $300 at Outback is you accidentally order everything out of the cart and don't really realize it until after the fact. Just me and my little one. That's it, man. We had some steaks and lots of stuff. I don't think is she. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think she's Latino. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Thank you. Yeah. Well, Kalshi's number 1, right? And then I think Poly Market's like number 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. 100%. The well, the mhm. I mean, that's what prediction markets have opened the door to, though. They've opened the door to that. Yeah. Hmm. Well, yeah, nah, that ain't gonna happen. But 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 you gotta think though too. They're pulling the Amazon, they're pulling the Lyft, they're pulling the Uber. They're just coming in and trying to squeeze these bigger companies. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Well, it's because these companies are not trying to be tied down to a state by buying real estate in that state and then having to pay taxes on that real estate. So they're trying to come in and arbitrage these states without being tied to them, but they're going to be forced to be tied to them to be able to operate in them, and that's going to cost them quite a bit of money to do that. So yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it's gonna get to a sticking point where they got to make a decision. Are they going to be tied down like casinos, which will basically just make them like casinos? Or are they just going to be kind of weeded out at this point? Because
volume market and the couple things that exist on Myriad, you know, like we're going to see that market's going to go over to sports.
Yeah, but what's the value? What's the value for
Sorry.
them to do it? No, what I was going to say, what's the value for DraftKings to do it? Like you're making a 10, 20% rip and you want to go to prediction market, which is the exact same thing. You lose the ability to do every prop. Like, let's be honest, DraftKings, FanDuel, all that, their biggest push is parlays and props, which you can't do properly across this. So you're only competing on straight bets, and straight bets are just being the same way every bookie in America pushes off, unless they just are degenerate gamblers, the same way that they push off the action to Vegas. This is just the same thing. Like, you know, like that's the biggest opportunity right now is you can find something every week with a decent amount of volume where you can arb a really good bet. Because, like, I think in what FanDuel and all them do is they just change it. Just tweak the fucking cash out method against the algorithm and don't make you have to do 100% cash out, and it becomes the same thing.
They're just riding the hype, you know, honestly. That's what I think what they're doing is because they're seeing that they're losing market share, and the only way to get it back is to join the party.
Well, I think it's clear they're going to do mergers and acquisitions. I mean, my guess is that DraftKings will acquire Poly Market before they get too big.
I don't think they have a reason to. I think they just let them get fucking burned.
Well, they've already. Look, well, I mean, they have too much attention. So if they like steal their tech, it's just super bad for brand.
But there's nothing to take because the only thing you're taking is people who are in states that you can't bet in anyways.
Like, and you got to understand, like these people built the tech, right? Like Poly Market, like that, like the merger and acquisition would be more of like an acqui-hire anyway.
Yeah,
like,
but would you really call that tech? I mean, like these.
Technically, yeah, it is. The smart contracts are picked, dude. I'm not going to like belittle the work, dude.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying to the casinos and to these brands, they basically already have this set up in Web 2. Right, they have the full system that they can utilize in Web 2.
But they don't have it set up on blockchain.
No, it's all about volume. At the end of the day, like it's not going to be like a full blown like acquisition. Like DraftKings will no longer exist. It'll just be a back end deal to where now volume is being funneled through, and there'll be essentially a fee that's paid.
The volume isn't there because the volume is Texas. The volume is all the state. Like Texas is such a huge part right now, and that's where they pushed all their marketing. Like Texas, gambling is now legal. Like you called it gambling, but you're not calling it gambling. So you're already liable right there. And that's where like some of the money, like if you look at the numbers, I want to say that like it was $300 million last week in Kalshi in NFL plays. I guarantee you, without even like breaking it down and getting the chart, I'm trying to find it while we're talking, but I can't find that fucking post.
I remember seeing it. Yeah, the bar chart with the volume.
Yeah. And I can't find it on my phone, but like same thing. But you take 300 million in a week of just break it for what it is. You have $300 million in volume. The take fee on that is 2 points, right? So that's only $6 million in revenue from sports betting total on that. Actually, I would assume that it might be 3 because it's 150 versus 150 and the take is 2 points. So you're talking about $3 million in revenue with a spend that's stupid. They're overpaying every asshole in the world to promote their shit. And of that, a lot of that is Texas money. A lot of that is the couple of states you can't bet. And then the other half of it is basically all entirely fucking nothing but fucking people that are just arbing stuff. They're just laying off action onto fucking blockchain, which also helps some of these people launder money. So like, it's great for a million fucking reasons. It's a good tool for all these people. It's like all the scammers wanting privacy coins so they can launder their money without anybody seeing it. Why do you think Zcash goes up when the market goes down?
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny though? Like nobody really correlated the fact that like, okay, like if a bunch of money is going to exit the market, it's going to go through Zcash. It's going to go through Zcash. Like, bro, oh yeah, I don't want to say we can't be talking about privacy tokens in public because they're private. Okay.
That chart's not the one I was thinking of that went up. That's the total on sports. But look at that one by itself. You're literally talking about in weeks. What's that break down to? Like very small in millions on fucking elections and politics. Economics, which is basically people doing the same thing, hedging arbitrage against stocks, the same way you have puts and calls. Crypto, the exact same thing. Like there's plenty of shit. Like, I mean, like I have no reason to, bet in some of these cases, but like sometimes it's a better hedge math wise
to take some of these poly market bets than it is to fucking hedge against it a different way. Like it's all just arb against stuff, and it's only existing because they're letting it exist or because they decided not to get clearance for it.
So
and as soon as you argue that, they have nothing left.
You're basically saying that these companies like Kalshi and these other ones are going to have to either third party, which will cut into their revenue share by a shit ton, or
but if you do that, it'll make them less desirable because nobody's going to take nobody who makes 10 points is going to come in here and say, hey, you know what, we're going to acquire you just so we can all change to 2 points. Like it doesn't work that way.
100%. Like if they were going to acquire it, they would just acquire to basically dissolve it and then go.
Yeah, but you're not going to acquire a $15 billion company to dissolve it when as soon as you know that as soon as they get regulated
if they wanted to. Right?
Yeah, but I'm saying they're dead anyways. There's no buyer for it. There's no buyer for Polymarket or Kalshi unless they win a lawsuit. Then, of course, if for any reason they can beat this thing, which I believe is like under a couple % chance,
Vegas
then yeah, the company's worth big money and sports books are fucked forever.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody's going to come in and buy Kalshi, bro. They just were valued at $11 billion.
Yeah, but it's a fucked up value because they're taking revenue and they're not taking taking fucking income. Like, put it this way: if they made $3 million last week on sports on their 150 twice, if we're going to call that $3 million in revenue, dude, they literally have fucking like $3 million a week or more in just influencer deals. Like every person I know who has nothing to do with crypto, but has a real following, like 500K to 1 million, they're getting fucking nonstop offers. Like I got a buddy with 1 million people on fucking Instagram, 1.5 million or something. Dude, Polymarket hit them up. Fucking, they want fucking 3 posts a month. They're giving them 25K for it. Another one wants this. Like they're running these things in hopes that it works, but there's just no way this can work. Like if this can work, then
but I'll say this, Chicago, like the taxi industry and like a bunch of people said the same thing about Uber.
I get it.
The one thing about tech is it's formidable opponent because it grabs mind share before it even like branches out. So like people can like say like the regulation might fuck them, but I think like they pretty much have like a strong enough set of VCs behind them that they're pretty padded for this. Like, and I think
these casinos got, the lawyers and the fucking everybody
else. But I want to land this point because it all lends ultimately to brand recognition, which is why these companies are valued so high. Like, so if they go to court with Bally's or some big established players ultimately, or big established PACs, like they're gonna look like the underdog, which is ultimately good for their brand over a 5-10 year. Because these guys are suffering. They're hemorrhaging money. They spent way too much money on infrastructure that nobody's using, and then pretty much all gambling is going online. So that's why I think like a merger and acquisition is probably like in the cards or in the deck of possible cards, based on just the fact that like it's like easier to do than go to fight in public for fucking ages and both parties lose.
Look at the chart above. 20 million, 200.
Cut these niggas off, Will. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Chicago.
No. I'm just saying, you're talking about $100 million in fucking bets, which is 50 million at 2 points. That's $1 million a week is all they're making if you take away sports. Like they can't, like they're not surviving. This chick got $1 billion fucking net worth valuation, but it's because she owns points of a fluffed fucking evaluation in the first place.
Yeah, that's also like the valuations are just bullshit at the end of the day. Like a lot of valuations are bullshit. Like a lot of companies.
That's why I think M&A is possible.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of companies base valuations off of like revenue, off of volume, off of shit that they're not even making, and it's actual bullshit. Like I can run 10 billion through a company by just keep on doing buys and sells on my own, right? And then just sit there and make it look like 10 billion and do that with 100K. And that's the problem with a lot of these platforms is they're fucked up bullshit at the end of the day. They're not actually making as much money as they're
claiming. Like if she sold for $3 billion right now, she could actually walk away and be close to a billionaire for real. Right? Like she's in the news as a billionaire today. She's not a billionaire today.
The problem is she's probably not getting that much revenue in these companies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, so I think we'll see how it plays out. I mean, they're in a growth trajectory, so
if this wins, then I'm starting a fucking prostitution company called Friend Tech and a fucking casino
Chicago, the amount
It's
of
called
times you've
Toasty
been right,
doesn't
bro,
bet.
I'm not gonna bet against you on this. I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you have to listen. You're in Vegas, so you get it better than most people.
Vegas is a really good example that a lot of people don't understand, and like they will literally block these guys out if they want to.
And don't forget that half the city hates Trump. Half the city just wants a fucking shot at Trump, anyways.
Yeah, like we have to understand, like anybody who runs these cities, and there are certain companies that run every single city, they can shut this shit down real quick. Like casinos run Vegas, right? And they can shut down anything coming in here. It doesn't matter if it's on the internet. Doesn't matter if it's on the. And you could say, oh, well, people can use VPNs. Not that many people are going to care that much.
But they could also just make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, but so I'm with you.
I'm kidding.
No. But I actually do think that. But the problem is, you'd have to take that $13 billion evaluation and say, hey, we'll acquire you at $500 million, paid over fucking this much vesting, and we only want it because we're taking it as your customers.
Yep.
And that's about it. But the customers then go back to being in a normal sports book with the same fucking juice and the same everything. And it just doesn't, you're left with a prediction market for non-sports stuff. And I'm not saying that that's not like a loophole, but I think that if they lose the big one, they put regulation around the stuff like that. The same reason that no one in the US was ever able to do election fucking betting.
Here's the thing too, Chicago, to your point, it's easier for these casinos and other platforms to open up non-sports stuff betting than it is for these other platforms to open up sports stuff betting. And that's what a lot of people aren't looking at either. Like this is actually easier to reverse than it is.
No, because gaming boards aren't going to give don't forget the second biggest thing is politics, and Vegas will never let politic bets go. The same way that every state has weird, for example, I'm in Illinois right now. You can't bet colleges, you can't bet Illinois schools on DraftKings. So like if Illini plays, you can't bet Illini. Like there's so many individual rules by gaming boards, and that's why everybody had to go on the state level. Like one of the better interviews to watch is watch the Michael Rubin one from Fanatics.
The casinos own the gaming boards out here. Like they literally.
I understand, but you're not going to get politics in there for different. It's not like. I just don't. Maybe at some point you throw elections in. I just don't think that ever really happens. But if you watch the Michael Rubin interview where he was on there and they're talking about how Fanatics is going to launch prediction markets, he says it like real clear. He's like, well, right now the regulations say that it's okay, so we're going to do it. And if that changes, we're just going to pivot back away from it. But we're not going to not do it for right now. So like I'm with you. Like everybody could in theory have a prediction market right at this moment, and all the fucking pressure will still be on the top two. And then everybody else can just disappear because it's not like until you put the rules around it. But I think where they're going to come at them and fucking drain them is they're going to say you operated a casino without a license in this state. And if every state goes at them, they don't have enough cash.
They don't have enough money yet.
Yeah, I would love to see what their books look like for somebody who just has a weird fucking chart. But if you take the influencer deals, the fucking affiliate deals, the everything else, and you just leave them what they have in cash, the fucking one co-founder is worth $1 billion now.
But bro, did you see their list of VC backers, bro? They're are seriously bullish.
I don't care. I don't care.
I'm just saying they got a lot of money behind them. Is what I'm saying. Is if they hit a big lawsuit, I'm pretty sure they have a lot of baseline support from the people that went in.
Here's the thing, though. Look, at the end of the day, these companies are operating privately for a reason. Why do you think they're not publicly traded? And I think that's what you have to look at first and foremost, right? Like they're operating privately, and they're doing that because they have no intention of showing all their information. They know likely that their books are cooked, and the only way you could do that is to run your company privately.
When anybody who's putting their money in a VC, they're asking for fucking quick returns across this because they're aware of what's going on. Like some of these people, you got a $11 billion valuation on it. We have no idea what they really raised at that. It wasn't $1 billion. They didn't raise 10% of it. They raised that, hundreds of millions of dollars, split that between the people who are there, take the immediate cash that's sitting there that they get paid on first. It's really not a risk to the VCs, and the VCs will just walk. I know they're big, but they'll still walk.
That's exactly.
Yeah, but I'm saying they'll just walk.
Yeah.
It's not, and also.
Look, I'm gonna push back on this, Al, because Sequoia. Look, I just looked this up because I wasn't sure, but I thought so. But Sequoia led their round, bro. Sequoia's minted. They're extremely plugged at every level of government. I don't see this being I think Sequoia has more power than Vegas at this point in time, bro.
No,
They're locked. No, they're locked. No,
not, bro.
I'll tell you why. They're lockstep with all the. Let me finish. They're lockstep with all the technocrats. They were fucking initial investors in Google, a bunch of other companies, a long laundry list of companies. They were like initial seed investors for. So like, you can't say that like that Kalshi's just going to disappear or get fucking. They're get strong armed by a casino because, like I said,
who
like
pays
They're
their
gonna get
taxes
strong.
in
They're gonna
Vegas?
get strong armed by common sense. Like you can't just come in here and change the name of something and come in. This is gonna be something.
But they
bigger.
said the
got a
same
big
thing
que-
about
I got a
Uber,
big
bro.
question.
Same argument about Uber, bro. It was the same exact argument
I
for taxis and ride
I
share.
understand, and if we take the two of them in the end, I think it'll say 1 and 1.
No, but
Like, that's the way we'll look at it in history.
Let me give you the Uber example because we keep bringing this up, Uber and Lyft and all that stuff like that. In
I
Vegas,
literally fell asleep and my car is still driving, but I'm pulling up to the bar that we're gonna buy. I think. This
Well,
thing
good luck.
drives itself. This thing's bulletproof.
Bro, shut up. Go ahead.
in Vegas, what you call it? Now I completely.
My
lost
bad.
track
I
of
didn't
what
know I was
You're
unmuted.
good. You're good. Yeah. So in Vegas, basically, the taxes are paid by the casinos, and basically the state is run by the casinos. And there's no way you're pushing them out, bro. Like zero chance you're pushing the casinos out. And I think that when you have
Dude, Charles Schwab was in their Series A, bro. So like,
I don't give a
know. I don't see
fuck.
this
I don't
failing,
give a
bro.
fuck if Jesus Christ was in their Series A.
Google doesn't have poll here. Nobody has pull here outside.
Well, no, the only leg
I
to
fear
stand
Jesus
on,
more than the mob, dude. I don't give a fuck, bro.
dude, the only leg that they have to
basically
stand on is that it's peer to peer. And if they can prove that it's peer to peer, then it's not a book, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like if them taking a fee constitutes them qualifying as being a book versus a pure peer to peer exchange, then like that's what's going to screw them. That's why I think Polymarket's safe and
Yeah,
they're
but
CFTC
if-
and like everything else. Like they're going to
I think
win.
SCOTUS here. I think SCOTUS hears this to get the clout from it, and it ends up winning. It ends up working in their favor,
But-
not the old guard.
But
That's my
Brad,
guess, dude. If I had to bet on it, I would.
You do realize that fucking Trump's biggest fucking backer is fucking Mossad agent fucking Miriam Adelson, who's going to fight to get a casino in Dallas anyways after all this, after putting up fucking 9 figures into this election. Like, these are casino families that put Trump where he's at anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can sit here and say whatever. You can sit here and say whatever, but like
put him in office.
Yeah, dude,
The
Adelson put up
technocrats, all of
fucking
them.
Adelson put up $100 million just so they fucking don't go at the West Bank. Her husband's the biggest piece of shit before he fucking died ever, and now she just took over the role. She's making a push. They dump Luca because they want to fucking get Texas gambling legalized, and prediction markets fucking ruin that whole thing. So Adelson's either taking fucking a team to fucking Vegas or she's getting the license to build casinos in Texas. Either way, that right there is worth so much more money than all these other people's fucking little skin in the game.
These states want casinos more than they want these platforms. Trust me. The casinos bring the buildings, they buy the infrastructure, they pay the bills in the cities, everything else. So like they'll definitely take the casinos over these platforms, 100%. I think that like people don't understand, like casinos are the new version of the mob. That's what they are. They come in, they offer a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying.
They take what they want.
I'm just saying, the mob isn't as powerful as the technocrats, bro. Like these guys are way more powerful than anybody ever was in the mob, bro. They have way more money. Trump's in office because of fucking Elon.
All these other platforms, but they're not. They're not because they might have backers, but they're not good enough to be part of these other platforms.
I'm just saying.
Trump's
like
in office because of the voting system. Period.
Vegas casinos give $12 billion a year in taxes back to the federal government. Kalshi is worth $12 billion, and technically we can all agree that that's a fluffed up number. But the $12 billion that's liquid that goes back to the federal government because of fucking Vegas, like that's just like the next move is Vegas makes a power play and says, you know what? We're not going to worry about taxes. We're just going to do like optional donations instead. And like, what are you going to do then? Like, like these are the kind of things like we can't just go on forever saying we can tweak the word of stuff. Like I agree when there's no fucking rules around it. but there is rules around election betting. They're just calling it peer-to-peer and like going at the license and the drivers and the everything they did with Uber. Like Kalshi doesn't have enough money to bleed to appease this for that long.
This is the exact same thing though. Like it's directly correlated because look, what Uber did was change the way that driving was distributed.
Thank you for
what they're doing here is changing the way that bets are distributed.
No,
right. And so this is I think this is a key indicator that like the tech is working. It has product market fit. That's obvious. I mean, it's been all over the fucking news.
Hold on.
It's like
it's
pretty clear to me. I didn't even do it. I didn't even use it.
Let me explain what the state of Nevada did to Uber and Lyft, just so you know. And other states are doing the same thing. So in Nevada, they actually require you now, as an Uber or Lyft driver, for those who don't know, you have to have a business license to be able to use those. So a business license, another $400, $500 per person. And that's if you want to open the business license and then you're a third party. And then at that point, you open the door to being taxed out the ass for being a business and operating under another business. So you're basically a vendor to Uber or Lyft. Most people are not going to do that. So that drastically decreases the amount of Uber.
But Vegas is the new Detroit, dog. I love Vegas to death. I lived there for a couple years.
Stop. Vegas is not the new Detroit. Dude, listen. Vegas is not the new Detroit.
I'm sorry. That was me.
Yeah, but like I get it. Everybody watches too many fucking TikTok videos of fucking people saying Vegas is dead. You know what Vegas is also doing? They're gonna fucking kill off fucking Uber really fucking quick. You know why? Because Waymo is fucking field testing this week, starting Monday. Waymo's in there. You got Zook. You got Waymo, and you got the Tesla, and you got the Tesla tunnels. Once those Zook's like the little squared ones that go with no driver. So Zook is already operating, even though they're only on 50 cars. Waymo just started fucking mapping last week.
Yep.
Thank you for the steel man. Thank you for the steel man. I appreciate the steel man right here. This is what's up. This is a real steel man for my argument that I just made. I'm gonna stand on it.
And there's also the Tesla tunnels that are going to fucking remove the rest of that. Like Uber drivers in Vegas had it so fucking good in COVID. All my contractors quit on me during fucking COVID because I was looking at their phones. They were making $5,000 to $6,000 a week, easy driving fucking cars when this was there. Right now, go fucking talk to an Uber the next time you go to fucking Vegas. They're either ready to kill themselves or get a fucking another job, but they can't find one. It's really like.
There's other things they added to Lyft too, and Uber. They both got caught for this shit, but basically they basically algorithmically test people to see if they'll take lower fees, so they can give you like
people driving are people driving taxis around there just like hollering?
There's still taxis.
Yeah, I know there are, but I used to live in Vegas before Uber, right? 2008, right? And there was a lot of taxis, bro.
Of course, there was a lot of taxis.
Thank you. So my point is,
there was plenty of taxis. What I'm saying
is they might be striking down Uber, but Uber still took over Vegas.
Uber
changed the whole industry.
Uber took over the fucking country as far as this because people were sitting on fucked up overpriced medallions that they were fucking trying to sit on for. My dad bitched for 30.
Same thing with gambling.
My dad bitched for 30 years about how he could have bought medallions when he came to this country and fucking drove taxis. About how he'd be retired and rich if he just bought these medallions fucking in New York City and Philly and fucking Chicago when he first came here. There was a couple of people that fucking controlled those things. And like, yes, I do think that like, and also don't forget, Uber fucking basically didn't make $1 for over a decade. And by the time you get to it, the difference you're going to have right here is now you also have the Elon factor, like the Tesla tunnels they're putting in here, the transport that's going around.
Too.
And fair enough. I mean, the business license is another one on top of it. But like you add all those things together, Uber did come in, and now Uber is going to get replaced by something that doesn't need a driver. And this is what's just going to happen next in fucking Vegas. Like it's really, really close. Like right now, Zook goes to basically 25 stops on the strip. The Tesla tunnel goes 4 places inside of the fucking convention center over to Resort World. They open the Wynn Connect. They're fucking digging right now to build the new place next to fucking Virgin. They're connecting that to the fucking airport and they're going to Fremont. Once you put that in fucking place, like you're taking at least 50 to 60% of the business out of there right there. Plus Waymo is mapping right now. So you add all those fucking things and you don't need Uber drivers. You just need cars, which makes it a cheaper service.
So let's walk through this logically. So we can base this out. In the correlation here, we have cabs are old casinos and old guard regulation, right? We have the Ubers are poly market and And, so if you could correlate these things, like pretty much what you're saying to me, what you're saying to me is there'll be a new Polymarket-esque thing that comes in robot, agentically helps you gamble online, and that will take this out.
Let me ask you a question. What did Polymarket solve? What problem did Polymarket solve that already existed? Granted, elections is what made them popular. Little mention markets with $5,000 in total volume and fucking what will Trump say and all this shit. Cool. Small stuff. But the difference was taxis weren't generating the amount of money for the city that casinos are. They never were. They were you were owning a fucking license, and most of these people were fucking never kicking back the money. The advertising money, they got no piece of. There was nothing. At this point, if you say yes to Kalshi in Nevada and you ruin the fucking tax revenue from the other $12 billion, you're actually only hurting yourself as the government by saying yes. In Uber, they fucking came in with all the fees, all the everything else. And if you take Polymarket and Kalshi and say, hey, we'll let you operate if you pay 6% to here and 3% to here and a